Today we're going to be planting up my concrete urns. I'm so excited because it's going to set the vision for this area and it's going to start to give it more of a complete look. I have some of the plants out here. Let's get in close and let's look at what the plants look like. And also, I'm going to show you all why I love to use fish fertilizer, especially with my ranunculus and my young seedlings, as well as my hydrangeas. Let's talk about the plants that we have over here. We have a pink sorbet viola here. I absolutely love this. It is a must for me to use in my containers every single year. We have some beautiful English daisies. I love it because it's giving off that romantic pink mauve color. And we have some beautiful ranunculus. All of these components are going to be used in these concrete pots. Now, I do have an evergreen inside of them. They're the same evergreens that match the window box. These are boxwoods. They're in a topiary form. They've been shaped up to grow in this globe shape, and I absolutely love them. What I love most about these evergreens is I was able to find these in a small shape. They were perfect to fit in these concrete urns. I'm going to start planting these up. And I'm super duper excited because once I plant these up, it's like spring is official in my garden. I am not going to be going in and adding any fresh soil around here, but I am going to move off the top of the soil because I do have some beautiful maple trees here. And with the maple trees, they drop some seed pods, and they're beautiful when they're on the tree, but then outside of that, they paint the garden with this beautiful rose burgundy color. So I am going to take the top layer of soil off here. And I try to get all of the remnants out of here. Same thing with this container. We'll clean out all of the seed pods here. Now that I have the top layer of the soil cleaned out, I am going to throw this excess soil just in the compost bin, or shall I say my yard waste. Because I have a smaller garden, I'm not able to compost and do the things that I would really love to do if I had a larger property. So in the meantime and in between time, this would be going to the yard waste. One of my good friends gave me some yellow primrose. She knew that I was going to be looking for some, and she said, I'm going to be honest with you. When you look at this plant, you are going to be like, girl, you should have kept this for yourself. But when I seen it, I actually got excited about it. We'll get in close and we'll look at the primrose. To the untrained eye, this primrose looks like it should be thrown out. But one thing to remember with your primrose, when you use them in containers, you can put them outside in your garden in a dapple shade type situation. You want to give them about 46 hours of sun if you can. So something a little bit dapple, because these will come back in your garden every single year. Come on. Pop that out. Easy fix. But while we're planting these containers up, we're also going to be saving money. And I'll show you how. Let's set this down, then I'll run in and go get the #1 tool that I like to use when I do containers. Let's pop this out real quick. Just hit it over the bottom to loosen it up, and we're going to pop this out like one big specimen just like this. Now, go down, search on the inside of it, and we'll start to divide the plant up. Okay, so you see this split right here? And just follow it all the way down, and you just work it. So now we have, turn it to the side. Again, we're going to split it all the way down here, just like this. And now we have one beautiful plant to use. And then you can go in, clean everything off. Okay, anything that doesn't look attractive, just go ahead and pull it on out. And you really can take the majority of these leaves off, because you see you have more leaves here. So now, look at that. Beautiful plant that you can now use in your planters. Okay, now cut in. There you go. Same thing with the leaves here. Anything that does not look attractive, go ahead and pull those out. Okay, there we go. Put this in here. Just clean the soil off. Now we could, because I feel like this is more plants, but we're just going to pull the excess leaves off, and you can cut them off too. I'm being really barbaric right now. You can cut them too. And we can split this into two, but I want to keep this one a little bit on the fuller side. They smell so delicious and gorgeous. We could split this into two. And then the flowers, we'll address those in a bit. The flowers that's dried up right here, we'll take care of those in just a quick second. Clean up our mess. it up. We're gonna make a detour in the way that we're doing these containers here. I have some concrete containers. Matter of fact, let me just show you what they look like, because we're gonna plant those up as well. I'm gonna plant up this container right here, and again, you can see where we have these seed pods. So we're gonna get those out of here. We're gonna plant up this container as well. We're gonna get the leaves and the debris out of here. And then we're gonna plant these up. I'm not replacing this soil in this one. I am going to, however, rough it up a bit. Nice and pliable soil. And this soil is going to look the same as the soil that I'm getting ready to add in here. This container right here, I am not going to add more soil. There is a fourth urn, concrete urn, that we need to plant up. Unfortunately, we're going to have to make, well, I can't even say unfortunate. We're going to make a quick run to the garden center to see if we can find another one of those Primrose. Price on it was, I think, $17.98. So we're getting 3 plants out of that one container. Now, if we divide that by 3, that's like $5.99 plus tax. Now, my math could be off a little bit. Check it for me and let me know down in the comments. But let's bring it on back in. I have been looking for yellow primrose and I have been unable to find them. So with my container designs, I know the year before what I'm going to use in my containers, the vibe, the feel, the way that I'm going to set my containers up, the flows, how long they're going to stay in place. Now, sometimes that plan is disrupted based off of the weather. Sometimes you might think that, you know, your temperatures are going to stay this long at this length. So for example, let's say if I'm planting up some tulips, well, we all know once it gets hot, the tulips are out of the window, right? So let's say I'm only giving myself a 20-something window for having tulips in containers, because that's about the time when they start looking a little bit ratty and tatty. And I'm talking about once they come into full bloom, right? Because you do have that period where the tulips are transitioning, they're getting their color, they're growing and things of that nature. So I'm speaking in reference directly to when they are in full bloom. Let's say if it's cooler longer, then your tulips are going to last a little bit longer. Know about how long that tulip is going to look good in the container, so then I have my next show already in place. This year, for the most part, a lot of the garden centers have not brought in inventory as early as it has warmed up in our region. I've been planting out in my window box since January, and then I've also brought out containers to grace a table and so forth. Knowing that we could have a freeze, we could have a winter storm, that again goes into the planning of which containers, which flowers are used, because some flowers are going to be more cold hardy than other flowers. With that being said, the main reason why I'm looking for them in the basket like that, your primrose are going to come bigger, and that goes for any type of plant. They're going to be bigger versus if you bought them in like a 4-inch container pot. It's going to be a lot bigger. Did you see how big those blooms were? You will get a smaller plant and spend about $5 versus me going and buying that basket like that. I'm able to save money and I'm able to up my look. So it's twofold. So I'm saving money on containers, and then in addition to that, I'm getting a better look. So I'm excited about it. So we'll run to Lowe's real quick and we'll see if we can find any of the primrose that my friend gave me. She's had that as part of her plant arsenal for quite some time. Hopefully I'll be able to find some. If not, then I might have to change up my container design. Another thing that I like to do is when I am planning out my containers, I like to give a plan B, a plan C, and then a plan D. But you know, if we get to plan D, then it's pretty bad and I can't find the flowers that I'm looking for. If you can't find the primrose, then hopefully I'll be able to go in with an alternative. And then I'll go back and then I'll have to take that first urn down and I'll have to adjust that to fit to the other container, and then I'll use the primrose inside of a different type of arrangement. I'll just use them on top of a table. They'll grace a table because I have plenty of tables on my patio, so it'll be perfect. I see some plants that we could potentially use on the clearance rack, and so this one is $17.98, so we'll get it for 50% off. So let's grab this. They look pretty good, but see, the thing with primrose, when you know what you're looking for, you look down on the inside of that and you see nothing but baby plants, and we can clean this up real nicely. What a breath of fresh air. I have these containers planted up. They're finally finished. And the primrose are so intoxicating. If you've never smelled primrose before, they have the sweetest scent. One of the things that I want to point out is this boxwood here. I am not going to be trimming up my boxwoods just yet because I want to make sure that my boxwoods are able to maintain themselves. I don't want any burn on them. So sometimes if you go in, you prune them too soon, you have the fluctuations in temperatures, you'll see that. So we'll leave that alone for right now. I am going to keep them in that nice round shape, and I am letting them stretch out a little bit because I want to be able to shape them the way I want them to maintain themselves inside of these concrete urns. Same as the ones for the window box. I think our combination here turned out just right. And this is absolutely loaded with flowers and blooms. Now you can see where as these violas start to grow, they're going to fall over the side of the container. All of that was done by design. So when I sat down and I figured out what I was going to be doing for my garden this year, last year, I wanted to have that feel. I wanted them to drape and nod over the container just like they are now. We will get in close and I'll let you guys look at these. Now drop down in the comment box. Please let me know what you think about these containers because I would so love to hear about it. Let's pop these out. Deadhead a little bit. This is how the container looks from over top. Absolutely flooded with blooms. So I used the English daisy and it's picking up that yellow on the inside of the English daisy. We have a primrose right here, and then we have a beautiful pink sorbet viola, the same viola that we use inside of the window boxes. It starts to grow out, it's going to come down and it's going to just fall off the side of this concrete urn, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. And I cannot wait to keep you all updated. I cannot wait to show you how these bloom out. Same exact thing on this side as the other side. This container is loaded with blooms, you guys. Look at that. Look at that. And you see how big this one ranunculus is? You see how big that is? When you feed your roots, your plant has a strong foundation and they're able to bloom so big. I mean, here is my hand. So almost the same, I mean bigger than this. This is my hand. I mean, how beautiful is this? And then you can see the different ranunculus blooms. Let's talk about the container because I'm getting excited because it's so pretty. So we have a daffodil tete-a-tete in the middle, or daffodil tete, daffodil tete. And then we have ranunculus. We have primrose. We also have a pink sorbet viola, English daisies. And I'm going to go slow so you all can see this. This container has definitely let me know that spring is here. I mean, and it is wrapped. Primrose, and then I left room for the ranunculus to grow in because these ranunculus are going to get huge, you all. And then you see how the English daisies, you see how they just come off the side of the pot. And then we have the little corks like the daffodils just falling over. And then you can see, even though we have quite a few that's out in bloom, We have quite a few buds that haven't even broke open yet. All of that, again, is done by design. The way the bulbs are put inside of the containers, I'm using like a lasagna type method. So that next round of blooms will be my next buds. Amazing. And I love the ranunculus when the ranunculus are closed tight like this. How pretty is that? Let's see. Okay, now you can get a good view of what it looks like in full. Okay, now you can see. And can you see the layer effect? How the daffodils are in there layered? I just love it. Ah, yes, honey, yes, honey, yes.